Shri Krishna Chaitanya Namo Nityananda Priya Veda Shiva Shri Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Me blanco, pero es bonito.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaste, Shivaya, la 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 la, Hiranyakashi Purvacha, Chiratangana Jaya, Nidoni Simo, Maradoni Simo, Yato Yato Yamita Doni Simo, Maheni Simo, Hidayeni Simo, Signori Sarananda Baru, Odara Kamara Varela, Nanuda Chinga, Nilai Rangana Shiku, Nanovinga, Isavarita, Nariuba, Jai Jagisa, Jai Jagisa. Krishna Bhakti Nariuba,
tienen 3 minutos más todavía. Canten un poco más si quieren. Sorry, I just have them because I like how they enthusiastically they sing Hare Krishna.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's so beautiful. Thank you.
So that audio a little has a few interruptions. I will look for another one. There is another one of them, very nice also. But anyway, so I have the two of them here. We're going to continue reading. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I can say Haribol to Celeste, Suniti and Devesh already say hi, Haribol. And gracias por estar aquí.
Haribol, I can read actually.
Okay.
I want to send a message to Belly though that she can come late.
Okay. Very nice.
But yes, I got the computer so I can.
Fantastic. I love to hear you read. Like it's soothing to me.
Thank you. Thank you. No, it's nice. It's a nice service. I'm glad that you let me do this. So it's good for me to do. Okay. Later. Yes. Okay.
I don't remember this. We were reading. You can read from because Lord Chaitanya was the incarnation of God. It was in the house of they were arguing.
Yes. Yeah, we read we read this. We finished this paragraph, but I can start there if you want.
No. It's just because to remember what we were talking about yesterday.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Later, it was disclosed that Bhattacharya also came from Navadvip area, and it was understood from him that Nilambar Chakravarti, the maternal grandfather of Lord Chaitanya, happened to be a class fellow of the father of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. In that sense, the young sannyasi Lord Chaitanya evoked paternal affection from Bhattacharya. Bhattacharya was the professor of many sannyasis in the order of the Shankaracharya Sampradaya, and he himself also belonged to that cult. As such, the Bhattacharya desired that the young sannyasi Lord Chaitanya also hear from him about the teachings of Vedanta. Those who are followers of the Shankara cult are generally known as Vedantists. This does not, however, mean that Vedanta is a monopoly study of the Shankara Sampradaya. Vedanta is studied by all the bona fide Sampradayas, but they have their own interpretations. But those in the Shankara Sampradaya are generally known to be ignorant of the knowledge of the Vedantist Vaishnavas. For this reason, the Bhaktivedanta title was first offered to the author by the Vaishnavas. The Lord agreed to take lessons from Bhattacharya on the Vedanta, and they sat together in the temple of Lord Jagannath. The Bhattacharya went on speaking continually for 7 days, and the Lord heard him with all attention and did not interrupt. The Lord's silence raised some doubts in Bhattacharya's heart, and he asked the Lord how it was that he did not ask anything or comment on his explanations of Vedanta. I think it's really amazing that he could sit for 7 days and not say anything.
I fail every second, like the first second. What did you just say there? Wait.
What is this? Yeah, no.
He's the Supreme Personality of God. I should post this on my wall for every time I want to speak.
He can sit and tolerate for a whole 7 days and not say anything. It's amazing. Okay. The Lord posed himself before the Bhattacharya as a foolish student and pretended that he heard the Vedanta from him because the Bhattacharya felt that this was the duty of a sannyasi. But the Lord did not agree with his lectures. By this, the Lord indicated that the so-called Vedantist amongst the Shankara Sampradaya or any other Sampradaya who do not follow the instructions of Srila Vyasadeva are mechanical students of the Vedanta. They are not fully aware of that great knowledge. The explanation of the Vedanta Sutra is given by the author himself in the text of Srimad Bhagavatam. One who has no knowledge of the Bhagavatam will hardly be able to know what the Vedanta says. The Bhattacharya, being a vastly learned man, could follow the Lord's sarcastic remarks on the popular Vedantists. He therefore asked him why he did not ask about any point which he could not follow. The Bhattacharya could understand the purpose of his dead silence for the days he heard him. This showed clearly that the Lord had something else in mind. Thus, the Bhattaracharya requested him to disclose his mind. Upon this, the Lord spoke as follows: My dear sir, I can understand the meaning of the sutras like Janmadhyasya Yata, Shastra Yonivat, and Atato Brahma Jigyasa of the Vedanta Sutra. But when you explain them in your own way, it becomes difficult for me to follow them. The purpose of the sutras is already explained in them, but your explanations are covering them with something else. You do not purposely take the direct meaning of the sutras, but indirectly give your own interpretations.
There you go. You ask.
You wanted me to say something? Here you have it. The Lord thus attacked all Vedantists who interpret the Vedanta Sutra fashionably, according to their limited power of thinking, to serve their own purpose. Such indirect interpretations of the authentic literatures like the Vedanta Sutra are hereby condemned by the Lord. The Lord continued, Srila Vyasadeva has summarized the direct meanings of the mantras in the Upanishads in the Vedanta Sutra. Unfortunately, you do not take their direct meaning. You indirectly interpret them in a different way. The authority of the Vedas is unchallengeable and stands without any question of doubt. And whatever is stated in the Vedas must be accepted completely, otherwise one challenges the authority of the Vedas. The conch shell and cow dung are bone and stool of two living beings. But because they have been recommended by the Vedas as pure, people accept them as such because of the authority of the Vedas. The idea is that one cannot set his imperfect reason above the authority of the Vedas. The orders of the Vedas must be obeyed as they stand, without any mundane reasoning. The so-called followers of the Vedic injunctions make their own interpretations of the Vedic injunctions, and thus they establish different parties and sects of the Vedic religion. Lord Buddha directly denied the authority of the Vedas, and he established his own religion. Only for this reason, the Buddhist religion was not accepted by the strict followers of the Vedas. But those who are so-called followers of the Vedas are more harmful than the Buddhists. The Buddhists have the courage to deny the Vedas directly, but the so-called followers of the Vedas have no courage to deny the Vedas, although indirectly they disobey all the injunctions of the Vedas. Lord Chaitanya condemned this.
Wow. This is the first time I heard this. I mean, obviously I read it before, but I heard it before. Wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I think this is interesting too, because I had taken my son Sham wanted to go. We had a Buddhist temple close to our old house, and I had taken him there, and they had this essentially teaching Bhagavad Gita, but without saying that it's coming from Krishna. It's the Buddha taught this, but
Yeah.
everything that's in it was in Bhagavad Gita. And after like 3 times, I got so mad, and I told Sham, I'm not. The last time we went, it was supposed to be like Buddha's birthday, and they literally had a picture of Krishna in Mother Yashoda's arms, saying that it was baby Buddha, and I was like, I'm out of here.
Now you should let it. That's better, much better,
It was I took a picture
them,
to my husband. I was like, this is amazing. It's they're exactly like they're preaching Bhagavad Gita, but calling it Buddha instead of Krishna, and I couldn't take it anymore.
You didn't stay silent for 7 days.
I was silent for 7 days. No, yes, it's very interesting, but oh my goodness, no. Okay.
Yeah, very interesting. No, it's better to reject that than cover them with information that
right, exactly. Than to cover it with something else. It's a good way to think of it, I guess. But
yeah.
Okay, the examples. No, I read that.
Have a question, Celeste? Okay.
Okay. The examples given by the Lord of the conch shell and the cow dung are very much appropriate in this connection. If one argues that since cow dung is pure, the stool of a learned Brahmana is still more pure, his argument will not be accepted. Cow dung is accepted, and the stool of a highly posted Brahmana is rejected. The Lord continued, the Vedic injunctions are self-authorized, and if some mundane creature adjusts the interpretations of the Vedas, he defies their authority. It is foolish to think of oneself as more intelligent than Srila Vyasadeva. He has already expressed himself in his sutras, and there is no need to help from personalities of lesser importance. His work, the Vedanta Sutra, is as dazzling as the midday sun. And when someone tries to give his own interpretations on the self-effulgent, sun-like Vedanta Sutra, he attempts to cover this sun with the clouds of his imagination. The Vedas and Puranas are one and the same in purpose. They ascertain the absolute truth, which is greater than everything else. The absolute truth is ultimately realized as the absolute personality of Godhead, with absolute controlling power. As such, the absolute personality of Godhead must be completely full of opulence, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. Yet the transcendental personality of Godhead is astonishingly ascertained as impersonal. The impersonal description of the absolute truth in the Vedas is given to nullify the mundane conception of the absolute whole. Personal features of the Lord are completely different from all kinds of mundane features. The living entities are all individual persons, and they are all parts and parcels of the supreme whole. If the parts and parcels are individual persons, the source of their emanation must not be impersonal. He is the supreme person amongst all the relative persons. The Vedas inform us that from him, Brahman, everything emanates, and on him everything rests. And after annihilation, everything merges in him only. Therefore, he is the ultimate dative, causative, and accommodating cause of all causes. And these causes cannot be attributed to an impersonal object. The Vedas inform us that he alone became many, and when he so desires, he glances over material nature. Before he glanced over material nature, there was no material cosmic creation. Therefore, his glance is not material. Material mind or senses were unborn when the Lord glanced over material nature. Thus, evidence in the Vedas proves that beyond a doubt the Lord has transcendental eyes and a transcendental mind. They are not material. His impersonality, therefore, is a negation of his materiality, but not a denial of his transcendental personality. That sentence is very packed. His impersonality is a negation of his materiality. Like, sure, he's not a material being, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have a personality. That's very interesting.
No, what it says is that it doesn't deny as a person. It only denies his material, but not denies his person.
Yeah.
I think of what is maybe my interpretation here is that he's saying that even though his glancing is talking about the eyes and so on and so forth, and that place shows the transcendental part, but it doesn't show the person, but it also doesn't deny it, something like that. Like it doesn't show, but because that's why it says no denial, meaning it's not that it's stated, but it's not denied either,
Right. Brahman ultimately refers to the personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman realization is just the negative conception of the mundane creations. Paramatma is the localized aspect of Brahman within all kinds of material bodies. Ultimately, the Supreme Brahman realization is the realization of the personality of Godhead according to all evidence of the revealed scriptures. He is the ultimate source of Vishnu Tattvas. The Puranas are also supplementary to the Vedas. The Vedic mantras are too difficult for an ordinary man. Women, Shudras, and the so-called twice-born higher castes are unable to penetrate into the sense of the Vedas. And thus the Mahabharata and the Puranas are made easy to explain the truths of the Vedas. In his prayers before the boy Sri Krishna, Brahma said that there is no limit to the fortune of the residents of Rajbhumi, headed by Sri Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai, because the eternal absolute truth has become their intimate relative.
I want to stop here because we're about the time. And also, Radhika Raman explains that in the south of India, they're more attached to practicing the Vedas, But in order to practice the Vedas really as it is, it's not practical for this age because everything needs to be a fire sacrifice and mantras, and the recitation of the mantras is very difficult because it's a very old Sanskrit. It's the oldest Sanskrit there is. And so basically, if you want to follow the Vedas, you are not following the Vedas by picking what you want and leaving out what you don't want. The Vedas were very strict, rules and regulations. In the South India, they say they're very attached to the rules and regulations, but they only take some of them and then leave some of the other ones because they're not practical, and therefore they are not doing really worshiping the Vedas. That's why Acharya also say that everybody in Kali Yuga is very low, and we all need the Bhagavatam, Purana, or Srimad Bhagavatam for our benefit. But basically, nobody's really practicing the Vedas, even those who say they practice the Veda, because that will mean that their life will be a fire sacrifice, more or less, And they do fire sacrifice. Now they don't do it, but they don't do it like, prescribe exactly whatever, their life is like that. So, but he was explaining that the South India is more attuned to the Vedic practice of the Vedas, than the north part of India. I didn't know that. So I want to share that. Thank you for reading again. Very interesting.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. We're going to offer our respectful obeisances to all devoted Vaishnavas of the Lord. They are like desired trees, able to fulfill everyone's desire, and they're full of compassion for all the conditioned souls. Vanchakalpata vivascha, kripa sindhu vyevacha, patitanam pavanabhyo, Very bonito. Okay, we have 10 minutitos de japa for those who can stay. I'm gonna put my timer here as it helped me. And then we continue tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you for reading my share. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sevaka Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Llegamos a los 10 minutitos. Haribolito, gracias a todos. Gracias por estar. Nos vemos mañana.
Haribol,
A la misma hora.
gracias.
Haribolito.